Now that we have our dragging code for dragging the sprite, we need to write the code to make that sprite stay where we put it or snap back to its original place if we drag the sprite to the wrong spot. What we are going to do is we are going to go and look here in our menu, and we're going to click on the digestive system. And we're going to see what event handlers are available. Now, when I'm looking, I don't see a digestive system dot stay in the right spot. So we got to think about what it is we're doing. We're dragging it to a spot, and then, well, we may collide with our dot that is in the thing that is a target. But we're also using our finger to drag it. Oh, and look at these. We are touching it with our finger. Touch down is when your finger hits the screen. Touch up. We want the user to move it to a particular spot and then let it go to see if that's the correct spot. When they let it go, that's when we want the sprite to either stay or snap back. So let's grab our touch up event handler. That means the finger lifting off the screen of the phone or device. Now, if we think about our code, we have to have the code make a choice. Let's take a look at our flowchart. Here in our flowchart, we have the rhombus here that is asking, is the sprite in the correct place or target? If it's yes, the code will do one thing. If it's no, the code will do the other. So we need a logic piece. We need a conditional statement here. And in our code blocks, a conditional statement is an if-else block. And we're going to find that in the control drawer of code blocks. And here we have an if-then or an if-then-else. That's what we want. If one thing happens, if the sprite is dragged and let go, well then, if it's the correct spot, one thing's going to happen. Otherwise, something else is going to happen. So, oh yeah, that fits right in there. Now, we're going to go back because we're talking about the example. I'm using the same example, the digestive system sprite. If the digestive system, and I think here's where we use colliding with. If we collide with, well, what are we going to collide with? We're going to collide with that dot, or as it's called here, the digestive system placement. So if we are going, and let's find it over here, digestive system placement, and it has code blocks as well. Way down at the bottom is just the one that just the block that identifies it as the digestive system placement. So we can move that here. So if we actually collide with or go over to the digestive system placement, well, then we want it to stay. Or else we want it to go back to the original spot. So what do we want to either stay or go back? We want the digestive system. So let's go back to that drawer. And let's look, digestive system, and it's got to fit in one of these, so it can't have the puzzle piece in. We don't want it to bounce. We don't want it to, we want it to move to. We want it to move permanently to an X or Y place. Or maybe not permanently, but we want it to go there. So we want it to go right to the X and Y coordinate of the placement. Now, we have variables that we've assigned our X and Y coordinates to the placement. Remember, they are 129 for the X, 159 for the Y. If we go to our variables drawer, we can grab the get, which matches the puzzle piece. And we can use the little menu here and we can get the digestive system placement X. That's the X coordinate. And look, if I right click on this block, I can duplicate it. And what I have to make sure I do is change the menu to the digestive system placement Y. So I need an X coordinate right to left and a Y coordinate up and down on the screen, or top to bottom. So if I get into that correct spot, then I want the left corner of my digestive system sprite to go to the matchup with the left corner of that dot of that placement sprite. And I'm gonna go back here, or we're gonna go somewhere else, so I can do the move to, you know what else I could do? Let me put this in the garbage can here. I can also duplicate this whole set of blocks. I can move this down here. What I have to make sure I do, though, is change the menu, because I don't want to go to the correct spot. I want to go back to the original starting spot. So I want to go to original digestive system X, and then make sure I change this to original digestive system Y. Now I have the code that is going to connect with the correct spot, or now I should say, if my code connects with the correct spot, it's going to stay there, or it's going to go back to the original spot. Remember, you are going to need to make one of these for each of your organ system sprites. Now, what you can do is you can click on the whole package, and then you can right click and duplicate. You'll notice that there's a red X and a red X right here. That's an error signal. The error is there's two of the same code block, and that's going to cause a code running error. But you can use the menus and change this to your next sprite, maybe to the brain. Here's the deal, though. You have to change all these menus to match. That's it here. And that's where you're going to catch a lot of your code errors. And you have to change this little block here as well. All the menu items here will have to be changed to match your event handler's menu item. If you don't, you're going to have errors in your code. And you can imagine once you get 4 of these and 4 of these, it's going to get pretty crowded. But if you double click on the outer event handler, it will collapse in right here, and it makes it easier to see what you're working on. Double click and it will expand again. So there you have it. You need to make sure that you have your code done for all 4 of your sprites. And we are not done with these code blocks. We are going to add to these next week. We're going to put in the code for the score. Get these done, and then do your independent work for the rest of the week. I'll see you guys next Monday.